Make your way to the podium. All speakers have 3 minutes. If you would like to talk about a topic that's not on the agenda, please complete a blue speaker card and give it to the officer in the back of the room. Items that are not on the agenda are heard at the end of the voting meeting. Glendale has 7 city council members: Mayor Jerry Wires, Vice Mayor Ian Hugh of the Cactus District, Councilmember Joyce Clark of the Yucca District, Councilmember Leandro Baldenegro of the Ocotillo District, Councilmember Bart Turner of the Barrow District, Councilmember Ray Malnar of the Saguaro District, and Councilmember Lauren Tomachoff of the Cholla District. This meeting is streaming live on Glendale's Facebook and YouTube pages and the city's cable television station, Glendale Channel 11. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to Glendale City Council meeting of November 26th, 2024. This meeting is called to order. Following today's workshop, the City Council, Bud, you're going to want to hear this. Following today's workshop, the City Council will no longer be considering item number 42 for those that are here to speak on that tonight. So item 42 is going to be struck from the agenda. With that, roll call. Mr. Melner, are you on the line? Okay, I don't hear him.
Yes, I am.
There he is. Okay. So Mr. Melner's on the line. Everybody else is present, so I'm not going to call roll call. Next item is a Pledge of Allegiance, our prayer of invocation. The person supposed to be doing our prayer is not here, so I'm going to ask Councilor-elect Guzman if she'll come up, open our meeting with prayer, and then if everyone please remain standing when she's finished so we can go ahead and do our Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember-elect.
Lord, I pray for this council meeting tonight. Give the council members wisdom and guidance as they deliberate on the items before them. May every decision be righteous in your sight, for our benefit and for your glory. And Lord, we thank you for this holiday season celebrating your birth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, approval of minutes. Next on our agenda is just that. The minutes from the November 6, 2024 voting meeting. Council members, do you have any corrections or additions? Seeing none, could I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve the minutes of the November 6, 2024 special voting meeting.
I have a motion from the Vice Mayor, a second from Council Member Clark. To approve the minutes, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Here's the ayes have it, do have it, and that carries. Moving on to consent agenda, items 2 through 19. Items on the consent agenda, they're routine in nature, but they've been previously studied by the City Council workshop in a workshop session. The items are intended to be acted upon in one motion by this council. We have any speaker cards on any of those items? Thank you. With that, may I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
Excuse me, Mayor?
Yes.
I left a note to have number 9, the presentation for number 9. It's on the front of your binder. On the front of your binder.
Okay. All right. So can I get a motion to approve all those? And then before we vote, I would like a presentation, or we're going to get a presentation on number 9. And then we'll go ahead and vote.
However you want to do it is fine.
That's fine.
I'm going to vote on it. I just wanted to think we need to have the presentation.
Right. Let me get a motion first, and then we'll go ahead and hear it, and then we'll take a vote.
Mayor, I move to approve items number 2 through 19.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We get a presentation on number 9, please.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Good evening. My name is Tom Kazarowski. I'm with the engineering department. This item is to enter into a contract with DNG Construction. This is for the Bonsall Park improvements over on 59th Avenue and Bethany Home that engineering is administering for the Parks Department. It is inclusive of generally surface improvements, improvements to the tennis courts, basketball courts, hardscape improvements, and the like. It does not include the parking lot, which is not part of this project. DNG was the most responsive bidder when it was advertised in the paper. I'd like to entertain any questions. John is with me for questions as well with the Parks Department.
Mayor, if I could, Mr. Kennedy, do you want to share the conversation we had before the workshop?
Yes, Mayor and Council, Councilmember Tomlichoff. At the December 10th Council workshop, we will be bringing back data that was requested during a prior workshop regarding the data collection that we have done over the use of tennis courts and basketball courts. So the contract before you tonight has a not to exceed price that would do either project. So tonight's motion would include either option that we'll bring forward to you to discuss at the workshop on December 10th.
Very good, thank you. Since we had such a robust discussion about it, I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that this doesn't preclude us from this being brought back to us once we have the information on what's going to serve the residents of that area best, on how many tennis courts, basketball courts, and that sort of thing. So that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Okay, I have, any other questions? No? Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Baldonegro, a second, I believe, from Councilmember Clark. Is that correct? Councilmember Tomlichoff, to approve the consent agenda items 2 through 19. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Moving on to consent resolutions, and these will be, we have item 24 that you would like a presentation on. Why don't we go ahead and do item 24, and then we'll go ahead and take a nomination.
Thank you, Mayor.
Resolution number R 24-122, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the entering into of an intergovernmental agreement with and among the City of Glendale, the City of Peoria, the City of Surprise, the City of Avondale, and the Maricopa County Community College District for the operation and maintenance of the Glendale Regional Public Safety Training Center.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report is Chief Ryan Freeberg.
Can you hear me okay?
Turn it on.
How about that?
That's better.
Yeah, so this IGA was first put in place in 2006 with a 30-year shelf life. At that time, the West Valley partners, part of the gripstick, the size, the population, the complexity looks much different than it does today in 2022. In addition, myself, Fire Chief Espy from Surprise, and Fire Chief Bernard from Peoria were all new to the position and coming in as partners to the gripstick. We had a good discussion about exactly what are the tenets of the gripstick IGA, what were the methodologies used to develop the IGA, and understanding that it's third year, what was the oversight to bring those things back in a more timely fashion for review. The governance inside the IGA promotes us to bring it to a chief's board to talk about the request for an evaluation and updating of the IGA. We then have to bring that forward to the executive board of the gripstick. They voted on that, and that started the process of updating the language, the methodology, and the timeliness of the IGA. During that process of collaborative consensus, we've worked through all of the partners, brought it forward back to the executive board, worked with our budget offices, our legal departments from all of the partners to ultimately bring it here today, to bring it to, which is the primary partner, the key stakeholder of the gripstick IGA, this council, for approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mayor, if I could, Chief Freeberg, you explained to me today that basically there was a formula to how to figure out how each partner pays an equitable share. And at the end of that analysis, it lowered Glendale's share, as we're the primary stakeholder at 51%, but we were covering 78% of the cost prior to that. So I just thought that was an important thing that residents want to know, that they went through the exercise to figure out how to determine equity among who's paying what. So I just thought that was an important thing for residents to know, and that was the reason I asked for the presentation. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other questions for you. Okay, so with that, can we go ahead and get a motion for all of the items 20 through 23, 26 through 31. I believe that's correct.
Mayor?
Mr. Mayor, I'll read them by title.
Sure.
Item 20, resolution number R 24-118, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing acceptance and directing the entering into of the grant in aid award of $113,072 from the Tohono O'odham Nation for the City of Glendale Community Services Department and on behalf of the organizations GFWC, Glendale Women's Club, Maricopa Community Colleges Foundation, and Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Item 21, resolution number R 24-119, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an infrastructure cost-sharing agreement with Taylor Morrison, Arizona, Inc. Item 22, resolution number R 24-120, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, approving the Arts and Culture Master Plan for the City of Glendale. Item 23, resolution number R 24-121, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the city manager to execute a license agreement for wired telecommunication service in the City of Glendale's right-of-way with Vexus Fiber LLC, doing business as Metronet. Item 25, resolution number R 24-123, that was resolution number R 24-123, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security for the Assistance to Firefighters Grant in the amount of $2,352,477.15 on behalf of the Glendale Fire Department. Item 26, resolution number R 24-124, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the entering into of a subrecipient agreement and authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of the 2024 Arizona Department of Homeland Security Grant Program Award for the 2024 Urban Area Security Initiative, Glendale Fire Department RRT Sustainment Agreement number 240808-01 in the amount of $60,000 on behalf of the Glendale Fire Department. Item 27, resolution number R 24-125, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance from the Arizona Department of Administration for a grant in the amount of $408,000 on behalf of the Glendale Fire Department. Item 28, resolution number R 24-126, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the cybersecurity assessments rules of engagement between the United States Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency in the City of Glendale Innovation and Technology Department. Item 29, resolution number R 24-127, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a grant agreement with the State of Arizona for pavement preservation at the Glendale Municipal Airport, which will include the APMS runway 119 section 10, 1-inch AC overlay and pavement markings. Item 30, resolution number R 24-128, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Phoenix for the installation, operation, and maintenance of a flashing yellow operation and positive offset at Union Hills Drive and 51st Avenue in the City of Phoenix. Item 31, resolution number R 24-129, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of the Industrial Assessment Center's implementation grant fund agreement with the Defense Works and the Department of Energy for HVAC chillers grant funding and authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of the grant award in the amount of $300,000. That concludes the consent resolutions.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Mayor, I move we move consent agenda items 20 through 31.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second Mr. Baldonegro. Councilmember Clark. Okay. Okay. With that said, we'll signify, we'll take a roll call. Please signify by saying aye. Start off with you, Mr. Baldonegro. How do you vote?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Tomachoff. How do you vote? I was actually calling Councilmember Tomachoff.
Oh, I didn't hear you call my name. Aye.
Okay. Councilmember Clark. Aye. Okay. Councilmember Milner.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Turner?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, the motion carries. Item 32,
Award of RFQ number 4250003 and authorization to enter into an agreement with Tetra Tech BAS Inc. for landfill engineering services. There are no speaker cards.
no speaker cards. Okay, can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve item 32.
Second.
I have a motion from the Vice Mayor, a second from Councilmember Tomasoff to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Waldenegger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote? Go ahead and turn your microphone on. Turn your mic on.
Thank you. I will explain my vote for the next to the last time. 5-year contracts are terms that are longer than a city council term of 4 years. So it does not really allow for continuity of oversight by the city council. Also, market conditions can change drastically in 5 years. And I understand that we review the contracts every year, but to my knowledge, I've never seen a contract denied once it's been issued. So based on that, on this item and the next 4, I will be voting nay.
Okay, Councilmember Clark votes nay. Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomasoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you read item number 33 by title?
Authorization to enter into an agreement for behavioral health consultant services with Public Safety Crisis Solutions, LLC. There are no speaker cards.
No speaker cards. No questions from anybody. Can I get a motion to approve item 33?
Mayor, I move we authorize the city manager to enter into the described agreement with Public Safety Crisis Solutions, LLC.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Tomasoff to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Waldenegger, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomasoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, the motion carries. Item 34, if you would, please.
Authorization to enter into a linking agreement with Nauman Hobbs Material Handling Corporation 2, Inc. for the purchase of a forklift, warranty, accessories, and maintenance. There are no speaker cards.
Okay, can I get a motion on item 34?
Yes, Mayor. I move we approve item 34.
Second.
I have a motion from from Vice Mayor Hugh, a second from Councilmember Tomasoff to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Waldenegger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomasoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you read item number 35 by title?
Authorization to enter into a professional service agreement with Kimley Horn for the purchase of Kimley Horn Integrated Traffic System maintenance and support. There are no speaker cards.
Okay, no speaker cards. Can I get a motion to approve item 35?
I move we authorize the city manager to enter into the described agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Waldenegger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Nay.
I didn't hear you.
Nay. Nay, nay.
Okay, Councilmember Clark votes no. Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomasoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries. Moving on to land development actions. Ms. Bauer, can you introduce item 3.6, please?
Resolution number R 24-130, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the general plan map of the City of Glendale, Arizona by approving general plan amendment GPA 22-12 for property located at the northwest corner of 43rd Avenue and Orangewood Avenue, public hearing required, and ordinance number O 24-45, An ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning 1.48 acres located at the northwest corner of Orangewood Avenue and 43rd Avenue from commercial office CO to R16 PRD, single residence plan residential development, for a development plan entitled Orangewood Meadows 2, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required.
Public hearing is now open on item number 36. Tabitha.
Mayor, members of the council, here provide staff report is Deputy Director Tabitha Perry, Planning and Land Services.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you, as stated, this is Orangewood Meadows 2, Phase 2, rezoning and minor general plan request. Before you on the slide, it's actually the applicant's name, so it is the correct presentation. The request, once again, is for a minor general plan amendment, changing the existing land use designation of office to medium-high density to allow for a maximum of 8 dwelling units to the acre. In addition, the applicant is asking to rezone the property from commercial office to R16 PRD, which is the single residence planned residential development. Okay. Here before you is the vicinity map. The subject property is located at the northwest corner of 43rd and Orangewood Avenue, and it's approximately 2 miles from City Hall. The general plan proposal depicts the proposed land use designation, once again allowing for a maximum of 8 dwelling units to the acre. And it is in line with the other land use designations in the immediate area. The proposed rezoning would change it to R16 PRD. As council is aware, R16 standard zoning would allow for a minimum of 6,000 square feet of lot size. And the PRD allows for the developer to create their own development standards. Here is an aerial map just giving context to the subject site. As you can see, it's surrounded by additional residential zoning and developments. The current zoning on the property was rezoned in 1987, so it has been undeveloped, and city staff does see this as an infill property. Oh, my fingers are just too... Sorry about that. Before you is the proposed development standards. As you can see to your left is the standard R16 development standards in comparison to the proposed PRD standards. All of the development standards in which the applicant is proposing truly exceeds the minimum development standards of the R16. In comparison, the range of lot sizes that are being proposed is from 7,650 square feet to 10,399 square feet. And then also the proposal is projecting 15% of open space in retention area. Here is a conceptual site plan just depicting the overall layout for the 7 lots. And as you can see on track 8, is the larger size where amenities will be located for like a tot lot for the younger youth and teenagers. This will be a gated community. The applicant did complete the citizen participation process in which 2 individuals attended, which was very supportive of the applications before you this evening. These applications were heard before Planning Commission on October the 24th. Once again, there was no oppositions, and Planning Commission recommended approval of the resolution for the general plan amendment, and they also recommended approval of the rezoning for the ordinance, with one stipulation. And with that, Mayor and Council, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the council?
Thank you, Ms. Perry. What we're basically doing here is changing land that was planned and zoned to be residential and commercial and providing the opportunity for it to be residential. Is that correct?
Mayor and Council, basically what we're doing, if I'm understanding what you're asking, number one, we're asking to change the general plan to allow for residential. And then we are requesting to rezone the property. Originally, when it came into the city, it was for A1 zoning. And then it was rezoned to commercial office without any success. And so now the applicant is requesting for the residential zoning with a planned residential development overlay.
Okay, I've got council meeting that I'm doing.
So, thank you, Ms. Perry. So, if I understood your reply, that yes, basically we're creating more residential zoning in the city of Glendale by converting unneeded commercial and office zoning, which is, I think, a sensitive issue to us because it's a way in which we can increase our housing inventory without necessarily infringing on existing residents, and we can turn unutilized land into utilized productive space. And I say this just in case anybody from the state legislature is watching, that this is the way it's done, and we've been doing this in Glendale and we'll continue to do it. We are increasing the availability of housing in our city, and we're doing it in the smart, effective way that doesn't infringe upon our other residents. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions? Okay. Is that all you have?
Yes, Mayor.
For now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and close down the public hearing portion. May I get a motion on item 36, resolution R24130?
Mayor, I move we adopt resolution R24130 and waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Tomachoff to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman, that's me. I vote aye. Motion carries. Can we get a motion on item 36, ordinance 24-45?
I move we pass and adopt ordinance number O24-45, waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
No presentation, no questions? Okay. It just seemed like we should have a presentation here. I don't know why. It
They were
just
both at the same time.
okay. We're going to do a roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clerk, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 37?
Resolution number R24-131, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the general plan map of the City of Glendale, Arizona by approving general plan amendment GPA 23-02 for property located south of Cardinals Way between 95th Avenue and 94th Avenue. Public hearing required. And ordinance number O24-46, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, amending the Vi Resort Centerpoint Planned Area Development Amendment for 66.31 acres located at the southeast corner of Cardinals Way and the Loop 101 Freeway, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required.
Okay. Public hearing is now open on item number 37. Do we have any questions from the council?
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Council. Before you, there are two requests. The first one is to for land use designation change from the Parks and Open Space to Corporate Commerce Center. And the second one, the applicant is requesting to amend the existing Central Point PAD, which is a planned area development for mixed use. Okay.
25, where to
The
catch
subject
it?
property is located at the southeast corner of the Loop 101 and Cardinals Way, and it's approximately 3 miles from City Hall. Before you is the general plan proposal, once again, where the applicant is proposing to change the land use designation, which is for 10 acres, that's depicted in yellow, from the POS to the CCC. And then also, the request is doing an amendment, once again, to existing PAD. Just for clarification, the two areas that you would see to your right, that will be closer to 95th Avenue, that property, which is the 10 acres, which is part of the general plan amendment, is part of Organic 101 PAD. The area that you see, the larger area that's labeled as PAD, is the current existing Center Point PAD. And then the area that you see that's closer to the Loop 101 is property that was originally part of ADOT. So with this amended PAD, the first significant thing that is being requested of the amended PAD is to incorporate the areas that you see outlined in red into the existing PAD. The second part of the amendment is in both of these existing PADs, all the land uses that are being proposed in this PAD does exist in the two existing PADs. The only difference in the amended version before you this evening is that it's more specific. So the Central Point PAD is more generic, as it would say indoor and outdoor entertainment, where the amendment before you is a little bit more specific in the type of outdoor entertainment that they're proposing, like concert venues. The next component of the proposed PAD amendment is performance standards. The existing PAD for Central Point does reference performance standards, but it would be based on the specifics of what's being proposed. Because we know what is being proposed, the type of development within this amended PAD, the applicant provided the performance standards for noise management plan. So those are specific to this development that is outlined within this PAD amendment. The next one is pertaining to signage. A lot of the signage that is within the existing PAD is allowed within the proposed PAD, with additional to like electronic, marquise digital signs, and some additional vertical signs. And the last component of the amendment to this PAD is a little bit more specific details as it pertains to the parking. The amended PAD provides a parking justification study that is specific to the proposed type of development that will be taking place at this site, whereas the existing Center Point PAD is more generalized in needing to comply with the zoning ordinance at the time, which would now be the Unified Development Code, or the ability for staff to administratively approve the parking. The advantage of this is that we have a parking study that specifically outlines the type of parking that would be needed for this type of development. Here's an aerial photograph just for context of the area, which I know everyone is familiar with. Okay. Here is proposed amendments as it relates to development standards. Mainly focusing on the Central Point PAD, the existing PAD, in comparison to the amendment that is before you this evening. As you can see, as it relates to Cardinals Way, they are increasing the minimum setbacks. Then as you look at building setbacks for 95th Avenue, Missouri Avenue, as well as along the Loop 101 freeway, the proposed PAD is increasing the minimum setbacks. Okay. And as you look at this slide, you can see the maximum building heights that was allowed in the existing Central Point PAD was 220 feet. And the amendment today is not changing the maximum building height. Minimum landscaping setbacks varies a little bit, but just slightly. An example would be of that along Cardinals Way. The Center Point PAD had 20-foot setback, whereas the proposed PAD will have 0-foot setback. That does not mean that there may not be any landscaping. And then in comparison along 95th Avenue, where the existing PAD required a minimum of 20 feet of setback for the landscaping, whereas this PAD is proposing 10 feet. Okay. As it relates to the parking spaces dimensions, as you can see, there's no change there. And then the parking ratio, what they're proposing is 1 space per 450 square feet. And once again, the whole parking is based on the parking justification study that they provided to the Development Service Department, where Planning and Transportation Department reviewed the parking study in comparison to the traffic study itself and found that the proposal for the parking on-site and off-site meet the demands of the proposed development. Okay. Mayor and Council, you've seen a lot of renderings, and I know you've been to the site, so you know what's taking place. This is just a quick reminder. Okay. Now, these requests was heard before Planning Commission on October the 24th. There was no oppositions at the public hearing. Overall, Planning Commission recommended approval of the resolution as written for the minor general plan amendment. Also, they recommended approval for the rezoning for the ordinance with 13 stipulations. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the council? Seeing none, we don't have any questions from the council. I do have 2 people that would like to speak on this item. I'd ask Margaret Schultz. Are you here? What I'll need you to do is state your name, the city that you're in, if it's Glendale, the district that you live in. If you don't know your district, then your crossroads. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, council members and mayor. My name is Margaret Schultz. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm here representing Worker Power Institute, a nonpartisan nonprofit that focuses on making sure developers and local governments are responsive to community needs and input. We are concerned with the Vi Resort's proposal to amend land use from parks and open space to corporate commerce center. We don't believe that residents will benefit from a parking lot and office building being constructed on the 10-acre lot rather than the green space that it is zoned for. This proposed plan would delete landscaping islands from the parking lot, reduce setbacks from the road, and increase the density of parking spaces. We feel that the removal of landscaping may increase the urban heat island effect, where pavement reflects, traps, and absorbs sunlight, leading to higher temperatures. Increasing green spaces is critical in a city facing the impacts of extreme climate. A recent study ranked Glendale, Arizona, as the least sustainable city of the 100 most populated cities in the United States. An AZ Central article on the study noted that Glendale rated poorly for environmental quality indicators like the intensity of the urban heat island effect, the share of green spaces, and air and water quality. As city council members, are you not concerned that this development will pile on to the factors that already contribute negatively to citizens' quality of life and increase long-term municipal costs? We ask that you vote no today on this resolution and ordinance. Thank you for your time and for the opportunity to speak.
Anna Martinez. Again, if you're from Glendale, state your district, if you know what it is, if not just your crossroads and your name. Thank you.
Hello, council members and mayor. My name is Ana Martinez. I live in the Cactus District here in Glendale. I'm here today to ask you to vote no on the amended zoning for the Via Resort. The proposed development of a huge parking lot next to residential homes is troubling both for its repercussions in terms of traffic and noise on local neighborhoods, and for increasing the urban heat island effect, which affects all of Glendale. Thinking of the future we want to build for ourselves and for the next generations, I want to live in a community where heat is mitigated and where parks and green spaces are valued over large commercial parking lots. I am concerned about Via Resort's proposals for lighting that exceed Arizona's dark sky ordinance, and the fact that live events would be made exempt from provisions of the Glendale City Code, while the concrete details of the noise management plan are not yet available. I also question Via's request to flush the filters for the swimming pools and water features directly into Glendale's sewer system. Considering the size of involved, 5 acres of temperature-controlled water and 1 mile of white sand beaches, I can't help but to think that this will be a stressor on the city's infrastructure. These elements have the potential to be disruptive to the community and environment. I don't believe that enough is being done in this proposal to offset the harmful consequences of possible light, noise, and water pollution. Please vote no. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, I have no other speaker cards. Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. So with that, our public hearing is closed. Can I get a motion on item 37, resolution R24-131?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt resolution number R24-131.
I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, a second from Councilmember Tomachoff. Roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, you're up, sir. How do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman, vote aye. Carries unanimous. Can I get a motion on item 37, ordinance 24-46?
Yes, Mayor. I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 024-46.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, second Councilmember Tomachoff, to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 38, please?
Resolution number R24-132, a resolution of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the general plan map of the city of Glendale, Arizona by approving general plan amendment GPA 24-03 for property located at the northwest corner of 59th Avenue and Mercer Lane. Public hearing required. And ordinance number O24-47, an ordinance of the council of the city of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning property located at the northwest corner of 59th Avenue and Mercer Lane from planned area development to neighborhood commercial for a project entitled 60th Avenue Assisted Living, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded. Public hearing required.
Okay, public hearing is now open on item number 38. Ms. Perry.
Mayor and Council. Okay. Again, this is the last land development action for this evening, where the applicant is proposing a minor general plan amendment to change the land use designation from office to planned commercial. In addition, the request is to rezone the property from PAD, planned area development, to C1, which is neighborhood commercial. The applicant's intent is, if provided council approves these two requests this evening, is to go before a planning commission for a conditional use permit for a assisted living facility. Here is the vicinity map. The subject property is located at the northwest corner of 59th Avenue and Mercer Lane, and is approximately 4.5 miles from City Hall. Okay. Here's the general plan proposal map, just showing that the proposal to change the land use designation would align with the land use designation to the south, which is also planned commercial. And then the zoning proposal, when the existing planned area development was approved, which was back in 1985, the yellow portion of land that's depicted on the screen has been undeveloped for some time. So at this point in time, the developer feels that it would be best served, instead of amending the existing PAD, but to follow along the regulations for our standard zoning regulations for C1. Here's an area photograph just to give context. The subject property is surrounded by single-family residential. When the applicant completed their citizen participation process, the residents were supportive of the proposal for a future assisted living facility. Once again, this item was presented before Planning Commission on October the 24th. There were no oppositions, and the Planning Commission recommended approval of the resolution for the general plan proposal as written, as well as they recommended approval of the rezoning ordinance as written. And with that, Mayor and Council, that completes the presentation.
Thank you. Have you any speaker cards?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, no speaker cards. Public hearing is not closed. Can I get a motion on item 38, resolution R24-132?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt resolution R24-132.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second from Councilmember Clark, to approve the recommended action. Looking to roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Like to explain my vote, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Just once again, I want to point out that we're rezoning unneeded office space in our city, in my district, perhaps, or exactly, and we're going to be providing apartment assisted living for over 60 seniors. So I think that's another good thing and another example of how we're increasing housing in our city without negatively impacting the nearby residents. Thank you, Mayor, and I vote aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Motion carries. Can I get a motion on item 38, ordinance 24-47?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number 024-47.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second from Councilmember Clark, to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. We have no speaker cards. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote? Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman, myself votes aye. Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances, item number 39, ordinance 024-48.
If I may interrupt.
You may.
We have received a request that for item number 25, that there was a request to continue that, and we actually approved it. So we can do it now, or we can do it later, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because what we will need to do for item number 25 is we'll need to do a motion for reconsideration and then a motion to continue. So do you want to do that now, or do you want to do it later?
May as well do it now.
Okay. So with that, if you could actually...
Mayor?
Number 20.
Go ahead.
I move we reconsider our passage of resolution number R24-123.
Second.
Okay, this is for a reconsider vote, so that would be a negative vote to undo it.
We'll
No.
vote again.
Positive.
You'll vote. Mayor and council, you'll take a reconsideration vote. If the reconsideration vote passes, that item will now be on the floor. Once it's on the floor, then I will be requesting that you take another motion to continue it. So,
okay. So we have a motion and a second for a reconsideration vote. Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
How do you vote, Mr. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye.
Mayor, now item number 25 is on the floor, and staff would request that you entertain a motion to continue item number 25 to the December 10th, 2024 meeting, please. Thank you.
Anybody like
Mayor, I
to
so
make
move.
a motion as stated? Go ahead.
Correct?
Have a second.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second Councilmember Tomachoff. Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That motion carries. Okay, now we're moving back to item 39.
Ordinance number O-24-48, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a utility easement in favor of Arizona Public Service Company on city property located at 6420 West Myrtle Avenue and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report on both item number 39 and number 40 is Glendale Engineering Principal Engineer Jamie Chapin.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request to grant Arizona Public Service an easement at city-owned property located at 6420 West Myrtle Avenue. This is the location of the new police evidence storage facility, which is currently under construction. The easement will allow APS to bring power to the new facility. Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? Can I get a motion?
Mayor, I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 02448.
Second.
Okay, a motion from Councilmember Clark. Motion from Councilmember Clark, a second from the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you read ordinance number 024-49?
Ordinance number O-24-49, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a utility easement in favor of Arizona Public Service on city property located at 14061 North 59th Avenue and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor and Council, similar to the last action, this is requesting an easement granted to APS at the location of the Fire Station 153, which is currently under construction. Again, this will allow APS to bring power to the new facility. Thank you.
Any questions? Can I get a motion?
Yes, Mayor, I move we pass and adopt ordinance number 024-49.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Clark, second Councilmember Tomachoff to approve the recommended action. Roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item number 41, ordinance 024-50?
Ordinance number O-24-50, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the Code of the City of Glendale, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 5, Financial Affairs, Division 2, Purchasing Procedure, Division 3, Sale, Lease, etc. of city property, and Division 3.1, Disposal of surplus or obsolete city personal property, and establishing an effective date.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report on item number 41 is Budget and Finance Director Levi Gibson.
Good, thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and council members. This item is to adopt an ordinance amending City Code, Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 2, Division 3, and Division 3.1. All proposed changes were presented to the City Council at a workshop on October 8th, and staff received consensus from the council to move forward with the recommended changes. That concludes my report, and happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
Yes,
Go
Mayor.
ahead.
Mr. Gibson, under this ordinance, in section 2-139, purchasing authorities generally under item C, it says the finance director shall have the power and it shall be his or her duty, and then under item 2, to establish and amend, when necessary, all rules, forms, and policies authorized by this division and any other necessary to its operation. Would you explain exactly how that's going to be used?
Mayor and council, so that will be used to maintain our internal procedures that the city procurement office uses as we conduct our procurement operations within the city.
So let me get this straight. We adopt this ordinance to set up policies and procedures for purchasing, and then we have a get out of jail card. We have item 2 where the finance director doesn't have to follow any of those policies and procedures and can create his or her own. Would that be accurate?
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor, members of the council, no, that's not accurate. We still have to follow what's in the code because it's the code. These are more like, what form are you going to use? What boxes are you going to check for certain things? How, you know, how much time it's going to take to do procurements, and those kinds of internal rules that we will have departments work through. It doesn't mean that Mr. Gibson or the finance director can change the policies that have been adopted by council. It just means our internal way of doing business.
Excuse me, it says to establish and amend when necessary all rules, forms, and policies. And it's the policies that I'm concerned about. So could you speak to that?
So, Mayor, members of the council, a policy might be something like one that came up today. Can you use your procurement card to buy gift cards? And so we have a policy that says that you cannot do that. That's not in the code. That's our internal policy for departments. We have other types of policies like that. You can't buy alcohol when you're traveling on a procurement, or buy alcohol on a procurement card, either, or use city funds for the purchase of alcohol. Those things are internal policies that we have, but they're not part of the greater policy that council has adopted.
So
they're just internal policies for the
So you could
staff.
amend those?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to support this. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, I do have one person I'd like to speak. Rory, where are you at? Oh, there you are, okay. Behind the tripod. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. As a member of my day-to-day job, I spend a lot of time dealing with public sector, and one of the biggest issues I find in my day-to-day job dealing with segregation of duty issues is in the procurement field and also in the financial area. And something that needs to be in place for this city, for us, the citizens, to have faith in our financial situation is an independent audit. An auditor that has zero reporting to the city manager, but reports to you guys. An auditor who gets the raw data before anybody massages it. You also need to have a segregation of duty checklist so that you guys can have a checklist to know what is your segregation of duties, and everyone knows not to violate them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion?
I'm sorry.
Mayor.
A motion?
Mayor. I move we adopt ordinance number 024-50 and waive reading beyond the title.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from the Vice Mayor, to approve recommended action. Roll call vote. Councilmember Baldenegro, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Nay.
Was that a nay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
No.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Okay, moving on to citizens' comments. Didn't we have one more to go here?
It's council comments first.
42. That's what I thought.
Council comments.
Council comments and suggestions. Mr. Baldenegro.
Yes, I'd like to wish everyone may have a very safe and happy Thanksgiving on Thursday if you celebrate that. And I'd also like to invite everyone on Friday for the start of Glendale Glitters. I've been blessed with the opportunity to flip the switch, to light everything and start the festivities. I'm looking forward to seeing as many people there as you can to enjoy the event, take a lot of pictures, make memories with your friends and families, and I look forward to seeing all of you there.
Thank you. Councilmember Clark?
Yes, Mayor. Again, as Councilmember Baldenegro said, I wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving holiday. Eat too much, watch too much football, have a good weekend. And I'm very happy to report that right after that, I am going to have a visit from my very first great-grandchild.
Great.
Congratulations.
Councilmember Milner?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to reiterate for everyone else the Thanksgiving holiday and thank everyone for all that they do for the city and for the residents of Glendale. And have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Councilmember Tomachoff?
Yes, Mayor, I do have some comments. This afternoon, we had a robust discussion on making changes to the call to the public. I was opposed to making changes. There was a compromise made, basically, that accomplished the same thing, but rather than gaveling the regular business meeting and convening a call to the public, now there'll be, I believe, a 5-minute recess, the cameras will be turned off, and then there will be a call to the public. I still feel that the transparency of residents being able to hear what people are coming before us to talk to us is important. I don't agree with keeping that from the rest of the public who, for whatever reason, cannot be here to attend. I think it's important that we're accountable to people and other people know what people are saying to us. I don't have a problem. We've never had a problem in Glendale with inappropriate behavior here in the council chambers. And I don't expect that to start because this is a good city and these citizens care about what's happening, and that's the reason they come here to speak to us. So I want to let the people know that subscribe to my newsletter. I will be videotaping the citizen comments myself with my cell phone, and the morning after the council meeting, I will be emailing to everybody on my distribution list. If you want to get them, sign up for my newsletter, and I will send them to you. Thank you, Mayor. Happy Thanksgiving.
Councilmember Turner?
Thank you, Mayor. I concur with the comments of Councilmember Tomachoff. I think that this was, the proposal was a solution in search of a problem, or at least a problem that wasn't openly stated. We are to be held to account to our residents, and they have the right to address us. They have the right to have their concerns shared with all of the other residents in the city that would be interested. I think it's horrible that we would even consider hiding behind dark cameras and silent microphones while our constituents addressed us with their concerns. On a lighter note, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, whether you're enjoying it with family or friends or getting in 18 holes on the golf course. So, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I wish everybody a great Thanksgiving also. Unfortunately, I can't attend the lighting ceremony. My grandson's playing a football tournament across town. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, and I have nothing. I hope everybody has a safe Thanksgiving. The next part of this is our citizens' comments. We're going to start off with Mr. Wilfong. And then Warren, after you, Margaret Schultz. You'll be up next.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. Warren Wilfong, Ocotillo District. Everybody have a safe Thanksgiving. I've been known to bend the rules. You know, I mean, when I wanted to get something done, you have to bend the rules to get the point across. And I'm going to make this very clear that the TV situation is definitely a tool that the residents need. And I'll give you an example. Everybody has a picture of this, okay? How do I explain this? When I would go to the council chamber, I would put this down, the TV would take a picture of it, and I would say, this is what's going on in my neighborhood. I can't explain this without the TV. This is a picture's worth 1,000 words. All I can say is there's cars all over the front yard and they're parked in the front yard. That doesn't describe this. That's why having TV is a tool for the residents. And I don't understand why there's a problem, because it's been in place for who knows how long. And again, another thing is you can't see people's emotions when you are talking to them, when they gesture or when they get a little upset. That is the point that needs to be addressed to the people that need to see this on TV. Otherwise, it's just words. I could read this thing and I'd never get the idea what I'm talking about. And that's that. And one more thing about the library. The one question that was never asked: how is it that this library has been there forever, and it's been, but I don't know how long, that all of a sudden everything is in disarray, that it can't be rebuilt, it's got to be torn down? These problems had to be in place for years, and now all of a sudden it's not, we can't fix it? Every council member should ask that question: how did it get here? Especially the council member of that district. Talking about Band-Aids doesn't fix the problem. Finding out how it got there is how you fix the problem. This is the second time that an asset that the city of Glendale has had that had to be torn down. Glen Lakes was the first one. Now we're talking about the library. What's next? Somebody has to address the management problem that's not getting these items fixed.
Margaret Schultz. Aaron Cole, you'll be up after her.
Hello, council members and mayor. My name is Margaret Schultz. I'm with Worker Power Institute. I just have a brief comment on the resolution that had previously been on the agenda, moving citizen comments to a separate listening session after the adjournment of the regular meeting. We are opposed to this. We believe citizens of Glendale deserve the opportunity to be heard within the meeting time by their elected officials, that this is part of the responsibility of the office and is crucial to the tradition of free speech. If this item should come up in a future meeting, we ask that you vote no. Thank you for your time.
Deborah Martell, you'll be after, no, come on up. Deborah Martell, you're next.
Good evening, my name is Erin Cole and I live in the Saguaro District. I'm here tonight to question and oppose R 24134. First of all, thank you to those that responded to my email from Saturday night. While I might not agree with some of the responses, I appreciate the time. Public input is a cornerstone of civic engagement, and it is your responsibility as elected officials to listen to the voice of the constituents that you represent. The decision to move forward with this resolution and essentially hide public comments from council meetings, is troubling. It raises questions about the council's commitment to fostering an open dialogue with the community, which is essential for effective governance. It is your duty to record and archive public comments. This practice not only ensures that the voices of the citizens are acknowledged, but also provides a valuable resource for future governance and decision-making. As someone who has actively participated in public discussions regarding building zoning changes and lobbyist-driven conditional use permits, I've witnessed firsthand the importance of community input in shaping the city's outcome. I must question what must be motivating the decision to limit public comments, recording them and archiving them. Is there a particular agenda that the council is attempting to advance without the scrutiny and feedback from the community? What are the implications of this supposed resolution, and why is there reluctance to record and share the opinions of the citizens who will be affected? For the record, the history of this resolution falls with current city leadership, as this person initiated a similar motion in Tacoma, Washington. This raises further concerns about the intentions behind its introduction. The decision to eliminate live recording and archiving suggests a desire to restrict access to these civic discussions. This is troubling as it undermines the very foundation of democratic governance. As a reminder, leadership staff are not elected officials, and you are. It is your duty to be prepared to speak on this on his behalf. With that, it seems the timing of this resolution's presentation during the week of Thanksgiving raises significant concerns. It appears strategically scheduled to minimize public engagement and opposition, and while I have the capability to speak tonight, it is well known that the proposer of this resolution and one other council member only have 2 more meetings before they're relieved of their duties, and this does not go unnoticed. As a concerned citizen, I urge you to reconsidering the handling of this topic, as it is crucial to provide appropriate platform for public disclosure before moving forward. I believe all of you are capable of upholding your duty and ensuring that the people's voices are heard and recorded. It's not a matter of process, it's a matter of principle and accountability. In closing, I respectfully request that you consider removing the video recording removal, as the community deserves the opportunity to express their views and concerns, and it is your responsibility to facilitate that engagement. The First Amendment is first for a reason, and we're allowed to speak and assemble peacefully in this country. Glendale must remain a place where civic engagement is encouraged and valued. Thanks.
Deborah Martell, you're up, and Emily Lawrence, you'll be up next.
My name is Deborah Martell. I've been living in Glendale for 27 years now, and I am against the resolution to not let the public know what is going on behind closed doors. I think we all have the opportunity, and we should know what's going on here. Thank you.
Emily Lawrence. Jessica Corey, you're up next after her.
Mayor and City Council members, my name is Emily Lawrence. I'm with the Beryl District in Glendale, Arizona, and I also am opposed to resolution to amend the council meeting rules regarding the citizens' comments. I think we should keep it the way it is, where we have the right to speak at the meetings, not put off afterwards. Thank you.
John, you'll be after Jessica.
Jessica Curry, Beryl District. I would just like to mention, when you fall away from procedure, this is the chaos we get. Tonight, nobody could figure out what color card we were even supposed to write on. We narrowly missed having our right to speak during the call to the public overturned. Unfortunately, I just learned that not only would the video be turned off, but also the audio. That is surely against the city charter. I believe it's Article 2, Section 18, that the people shall be able to speak at the regular meetings and have it acted upon within 30 days. It's been my pleasure to serve on many boards and commissions. Whenever there was an important proposal, it would come before the relevant board or commission. The city council would then consider and sometimes question their decisions. The boards and commissions have members who have knowledge and contacts unavailable to the city council members. Lately, they have been ignored or manipulated. With the Velma Teague Library situation, the community service director broke the open meeting law by browbeating the members into making a motion on an item not on the agenda. The Historical Preservation and Parks and Recreation Commissions had their meetings mysteriously canceled. I would like to suggest to the new city council that they make sure the city manager runs all major projects by them before spending large amounts of money. The Velma Teague Library, Glendale Glitters, and the logo were foisted on the council and public after much city staff effort and money was given to them. I will never forget when the logo came up and the city council mentioned their dislike of it and the lack of citizen input. The city manager said it was not something that the citizens should be allowed to decide on. Apparently the city council either. He further stated it was too late anyway, as the website would open the next day with it on it. Now we have that G on everything, even the soap dispensers in the library restrooms. Let's get our hierarchy in order. The citizens elect the city council hires a city manager. There should be an accountability throughout. I would like the city manager to stop the PR video at the end of the workshop. It's an unnecessary expense when a verbal summary is sufficient. Thank you.
John? Kevin Creighton? I believe it's Creighton or Grayton. Okay, you'll be up after him, sir.
Hi, I'm John Lejean. I'm in the Beryl District. And I got the green card. Well, they said it's blue. It looks green to me. But anyway, I'm looking at it, and it said All speakers are expected to observe common standards and decorum and courtesy. Personal attacks and political speeches and threats of political action are inappropriate and the grounds for ending the speaker's time at the podium. And so anyway, I can't understand what's the big deal. We signed our names to this, that we're not going to act out, we're not going to swear, we're not going to do a lot of inappropriate stuff, and yet you guys are worried that we are. And I think this boils down to something happened in Surprise, where some gal got mad and then she got arrested, and then I think she sued them and they had to pay out some money. This is not going to happen here. And if it does, you're going to turn the microphone off, or we'll be arrested. You got a lot of cops out there. So I think you're worried about something that's not going to happen. But if you cut the microphone and you cut the video off, you're going to alienate a group of people who are shut-ins, who can't, maybe in the hospital, or they can't make it here, or maybe they're hearing impaired and they're looking at closed caption or something like that. See, we can walk in and out of here. We don't have a problem with that. But there's a group of society that can't. Or maybe, I don't know, I don't want to think that maybe it's censorship or something like that. But, you know, if you cut off a voice of opposition, maybe that is censorship. I don't want to say that, but, you know, you got to think about what you're doing before you cut off the video. And we have Channel 11, we have YouTube, we have Facebook. My nieces and nephews see Uncle Johnny get up here, my kids. You know, I got 3 kids in college right now. That's how I can afford these nice clothes, because I'm paying out a lot of money. Let me tell you. But they see Dad up here, and he's speaking in front of the council, you know, and he's exercising his First Amendment right, you know, to talk to, you know, truth to power, or at least I tell him it's truth, you know. And my nieces and nephew, go get him, Uncle Johnny, you know. And so they see that, and my family, we've given a lot to the state. My great-grandfather was on the second legislature. He was a senator. My Uncle Bill was a mayor of Glendale. He got the streets paved in Catlin Court. He was the mayor that got the streets paved, and he was Speaker of the House in the 60s. So, you know, my father was a council member. You know, I've served on several committees here. So, you know, we've dedicated at Velma Teague Library, you know. So we've dedicated the family's a service to Glendale and to the state. So I'm not just up here, and I'm not saying that to impress you, but I'm saying that to impress upon you, you know, that we're not up here to be a rabble rouser or anything like that. We have the best interest in not only the kids in mind, but the city and the state also. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin, you're up, and then Rory, you're up again after him.
All right, thank you very much. My name's Kevin Gratton. I live in the Choya district. I know Councilmember Tomelshoff, but I can assure you that she and I did not speak about this topic before tonight. I happen to agree with everything she said, and I agree with this gentleman. I'll try not to repeat anything that's already been said. I've lived here for 26 years in Glendale. We love it. I live up in the Arrowhead area, Choya, as I already said. Prior to moving here in Michigan, I was a public servant. I served on my city's Planning Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals, and then I served 2 terms as a city council member. The second term, I was also the vice mayor. And I have to be honest, in all of my time of public service, I would never on my worst day have proposed or supported a resolution like the one that I've read. I couldn't believe what I was reading and what I was hearing. The most egregious thing to me is that there are many people within Glendale that can't attend meetings, or maybe don't want to attend meetings, but they'd like to be able to watch the meetings via the live stream. I think that's a wonderful thing. In fact, I serve on the HOA board of the community I live in, and at our annual meeting last week, one of the residents requested that we start making the meetings available on Teams or one of the other, FaceTime, one of the other things. And we thought that was a pretty good idea, so we're going to pursue that. So denying people that don't come to the meetings the opportunity to hear what their fellow citizens have to say, to me, is just horrible, absolutely horrible. The gentleman before me didn't want to use the word censorship. I won't either, but I will say, to me, that's suppression of speech. And all I can wonder is, for those of you that are in favor of this proposal, what are you afraid of? What don't you want the people to hear? And what I'm really just shocked about is that we just finished an election season coming off of so many instances and times when people were not informed because they weren't given information, and there were, there's outright lies that were made. It's a wonder people don't trust the government. So I'm just asking, what are you afraid of? If you're physically afraid, I'd be surprised, because there was 3 officers in the lobby when I came in and 2 security guards. So I just wonder, what are you afraid of? Thank you.
Thank you. Bud, you'll be up after Rory.
Rory Gray, Ocotillo District. Mr. Mayor, council members. Today, while I was listening to the workshop, I took a reading of the Declaration of Independence. And I have a feeling if the writers of the Declaration of Independence were listening to your workshop today, they would have declared an independence from this council. It was just disturbing how many of you, there's only 2 of you on this council that take their oath of office seriously and will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and Arizona. Thank you, Councilmember Tomachov and Councilmember Turner. Thank you for upholding your oath of office. The rest of you, you need a lesson on the Constitution of our United States of America and Arizona. But let me just read something here from the Declaration of Independence. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Who are the governed? You go right to the Constitution, and it says, we the people. You get your rights to do what you're doing up there from us, the people. And I have to ask, why are you scared to have our voice broadcast to the rest of our citizens? What do you fear from us? Thank you.
Bud. Helena Bodine, you'll be up after him.
Mayor, I'd like to just real quick ask for a pause of my time to ask for an ADA request, if I may.
I'm sorry?
An ADA request, if I may.
What is your request?
I'm sorry?
What is your request?
My request is, it's so difficult to hear with the direction of the speaker facing, if it would be possible in future meetings to have a speaker here. I have really bad tinnitus to the point where I hear buzzing, and today the conversations were so quiet that I couldn't hear part of those conversations. So I'm just requesting in the future an ADA of having a speaker that faces the audience, if that's possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was not what you wanted to talk about, though.
It was not.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Cecilia Bach, a Swedish-born American philosopher and ethicist, and also a daughter of 2 Nobel Prize winners, states, if officials make public only what they want citizens to know, then publicity becomes a sham and accountability is meaningless. Currently at the White House, we have a White House press secretary, and there's an open forum that happens several times a week that's broadcast not only to the United States, but to the world. This person who does the meetings has to not only take comments, but she has to answer questions, both positive and negative. So my question to you is, would you be concerned if suddenly a decision was made to eliminate the opportunity for you, the public, to hear comments about what's being asked by our press to the government? And if that doesn't bother you, why not? And if it does bother you, please help me understand what's the difference here. We're trying to restrict the public who aren't currently in the building from hearing public comments. Why would you as a council member not wish to hear comments from the public? Does it keep you out too late? I've attended many district meetings where I've listened to comments at your meetings that are much longer than these meetings and much later than these meetings. Do you not feel you owe it to the constituents the same respect to listen to their meetings and allow it to be publicly broadcast? If the council doesn't wish to hear from a public setting where all interested citizens are allowed to listen, and if the council doesn't wish to stay late, and if the council doesn't wish to be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes in the seats that you're sitting, and maybe if your skin's a little bit too thin, maybe it's time to find a different occupation. But even more importantly, my wife is a cancer victim, a cancer survivor now. During her cancer treatment, when she was physically ill and wasn't able to come to these meetings, she listened at these meetings on Channel 11. I would assume that that would be for many ADA and many medical folks who don't have the ability to physically drive to these meetings or the ability to physically walk into these meetings. I would think under an ADA request that these meetings would be televised and public and made available so that folks who have ADA and medical issues would have the ability to hear and participate in their city government because they physically can't be here. Thank you.
James, you'll be up after Helena.
Greetings, Mayor, Council. My name is Helena Johnson.
Helena.
I live in the Cholla District. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Ronald Reagan's famous words were the first to come to mind after reviewing the R-24-134 presentation of this reckless idea to censor the call to the public. Yes, I will say censor. These words jumped out again after receiving Councilmember Molnar's explanation he copied and pasted from his reply to another constituent on Sunday evening. Councilmember Molnar explained that this would not take away freedom of speech. What Mr. Molnar completely overlooked was that this, in fact, does take it away, and here is why. Suppression. Even with the recent change made today, recommended by Molnar, removing public comment to no longer be live streamed, recorded, or archived censors not just the citizen speaking, it censors the rest of Glendale. Watching today's workshop, Councilmember Clark admitted what she thinks the podium should only be used for. Unlike Council members Tomachoff and Turner, who actually were listening to the residents, and thank both of you. This controls what citizens can and cannot listen to. It takes away the call to the public, and it makes it actually private. This is no different than big tech censorship. The explanations are being sold to us as if they're doing us a favor. Well, I'm not buying what you're selling, and I doubt my fellow citizens will either. Today's consensus is not just reckless, it is careless, irresponsible, and insulting to the hardworking taxpayers of Glendale. This will discard all transparency. I came before you several times last year about this very topic when Councilmember Clark verbally attacked me because I spoke my opinion here about the bond committee and then told me I should have kept my mouth shut. Well, here we are again. When each of you stood before us and held up your right hand, speaking the oath to protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, did you forget about the First Amendment, or are you leaving that part out? This is a dangerous contradiction to the oath you took. We, the people, own each council seat in which you are sitting. We, the people, placed trust in you to be responsible in your decision-making by doing so in the best interest of the citizens, not yourselves. I believe today's council decision to approve censorship will be the beginning of its downfall. This will take away any trust the citizens had with this council. As I stated in the August issue of the Glendale Independent, does absolute power corrupt? Absolutely.
James? Lupe Conscious, you'll be up after James.
Mayor and Council, my name is James Wen, and I'm a resident of the Cholla District. I watched the workshop meeting today and wanted to express my appreciation to Councilmember Tomachoff and Councilmember Turner for their excellent points during the discussion. Thank you both for listening to your constituents. I understand that the proposal has been reduced to just one change, turning off the cameras and the microphones during the call to the public. I wanted to share a practical concern that I have about that. I'd like to draw your attention to the meeting minutes of the October 22nd, 2024 voting meeting. On page 14, the very first citizen comment is recorded as, quote, Susan Johnson, Yucca District resident, on landscaping issues, period. That's it. That's all that was recorded in the city's official meeting minutes. Does anyone on this council recall what that resident said regarding those landscaping issues? It's been 1 month since that comment was made, so it might be a little difficult to remember. If you don't recall, then you're in luck, because the video recording is available online and can be accessed publicly. Unfortunately, that will no longer be the case if this proposal is approved. Is this truly what the council wants to have? To see your constituents take the time and energy to come down here and deliver a message of vital importance to this council, only for that message to be ruined by the meeting minutes and then forgotten or ignored? I don't think that's the intended outcome of this proposal, but I can already show you what that result would look like. It's on page 14 of the October 22nd meeting minutes. I hope that you'll take this concern into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember-elect Conscious.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community members. My name is Lupe Conchas, and I'm a proud resident of the Cactus District. First, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the city staff for facilitating such a smooth onboarding process. In particular, I want to thank the city manager's office, also the city clerk's office, for your guidance and your support. Their professionalism and dedication have made this transition seamless, and I deeply appreciate their efforts in helping me prepare to serve this community. I also want to mention how nice it's been to meet Councilmember-elect Diana Guzman. It's exciting to be starting this journey together as rookies, and I look forward to learning alongside her and working collaboratively to serve our city on economic development issues, addressing hunger, and supporting our first responders. I also want to thank our fire and police departments for their warm welcome and for their productive conversations that we had regarding public safety. I value our discussions on improving speed enforcement, investing in the real-time crime center, and a potential proposal to move a fire station that's in the Cactus District. These initiatives are essential to ensuring the safety and well-being of all of our residents, and I look forward to collaborating with you to make these plans a reality. Additionally, I want to take a moment to recognize Vice Mayor Hugh and Councilwoman Clark for your service to Glendale. Thank you. Your dedication and leadership has had a long-lasting impact on our city, and your commitment will forever be indebted in gratitude. I also am excited for the new developments that are happening here in the Cactus District. These new additions are a bright future for our district. And on that note, I want to emphasize the importance of making all parts of our council meetings and ceremonies fully accessible and broadcasted to the public. This is not just about transparency, it's about ensuring everyone has the opportunity to stay informed. Many of our residents rely on these broadcasts, whether due to physical limitations, work schedules, or other barriers, including transportation. I think about a neighbor that I met while knocking doors who was a caregiver to her 2 elderly parents and can't leave her home, but she still wants to be fully engaged in the democratic process and to listen to every part of the meeting. Broadcasting these meetings in its entirety fosters trust, ensures accountability, and strengthens the connection between our government and those who we serve. Lastly, I would like to highlight the Fraternal Order of Police had a Thanksgiving turkey drive this morning, and I saw them outside the main station on my way to tour the Glendale Advocacy Center, and those turkeys went to Hope to Hunger, so thank you so much for that. I have other comments, but I just want to close out by saying I look forward to seeing everyone at Glendale Glitters this weekend and also at the inaugural Downtown Glendale Family Festival and Marketplace. Thank you for everything that you all do. May God bless Glendale, and may God bless our troops. Thank you.
Okay, there being no further business before the council tonight, I'd like to thank everyone for attending. I hope everybody stays safe. Enjoy your family while you can for Thanksgiving. With that, we're adjourned. Thank you.